The house stood tall and imposing, a Victorian mansion with a soul as old as time. 10-year-old Aria and her little sister, 8-year-old Saria, stepped cautiously through the front door. Their parents, excited about the character of the house, seemed oblivious to the chill that ran down the girls' spines.
Aria, this place feels weird.
Dust motes danced in the air, illuminated by the faint sunlight filtering through dusty windows. The air hung heavy, thick with the scent of damp wood and secrets long forgotten.
I know, Saria. Just stay close, okay?
Aria clutched her sister's hand, her eyes darting nervously around the shadowed corners. Something didn't feel right. The silence of the house was oppressive, broken only by the creaking floorboards beneath their feet. It felt like something was watching them, its unseen eyes following their every move.
Girls, come see your rooms. Aren't they wonderful?
This house has so much history, you'll love it here.
But Aria and Saria weren't so sure. The house seemed to whisper of things long forgotten, and the chill in the air was impossible to ignore. Later that evening, as the sun began its descent, a strange sound echoed from the basement door at the end of the hallway. It was a soft, almost inaudible whisper, like someone calling their names. Aria and Saria exchanged nervous glances.
Did you hear that?
Whispered Aria, her voice barely audible above the pounding of her heart. Saria nodded, her eyes wide with fear.
Yes? What was that?
Curiosity warred with terror in their young minds. Holding their breath, they slowly crept towards the basement door. Each creak of the floorboards sounded deafening in the stillness of the house.
We have to see what's down there.
Do we really have to? It's so scary.
But Aria's resolve was firm, and together they inched closer to the basement door, their hearts pounding in unison. As they peered cautiously into the darkness, their blood ran cold. Standing at the foot of the stairs, shrouded in shadows, was a figure. It wore a tattered black cloak that billowed around its feet like smoke. The most terrifying thing was the mask it wore, a grotesque visage of black and red, frozen in a silent scream.
Oh my god, Aria, do you see that?
Saria gasped, her hand flying to her mouth to stifle a scream. The figure remained motionless, its empty eyes boring into their souls.
Saria, what is that?
Then, with a speed that defied logic, it vanished. Just like that, it was gone. The girls stood frozen, unsure if they had imagined the whole thing.
Did you see that?
I did. We need to tell Mom and Dad. Right now.
But deep down, they knew that whatever they had seen, it wouldn't be easily explained. The house on Elm Street held its secrets close, and it seemed determined to keep them hidden. A moment later, the figure reappeared, but it was closer now, halfway up the stairs.
It's getting closer.
Aria and Saria stumbled back, their hearts pounding in their chests. Aria's mind raced, trying to make sense of the impossible. Was it a ghost? A figment of their imagination?
Stop!
Saria screamed, her voice echoing in the stairwell. The figure paused, its head tilting slightly as if considering the word. The silence stretched, each second an eternity. Aria and Saria didn't dare breathe. They could feel the figure's eyes on them, cold and menacing. Slowly, cautiously, Aria and Saria began to back away from the basement door. With each step backward, the oppressive feeling in the house seemed to intensify. The silence was deafening, broken only by their own ragged breaths.
We have to get out of here, Saria.
Just keep moving, Aria. Don't look away.
They didn't take their eyes off the spot where the figure had vanished. Even though it was gone, they could still feel its presence. A cold, malevolent energy that seemed to cling to the very air they breathed. They backed up until they reached the safety of their room, slamming the door shut and bolting it for good measure. Huddled under the covers, Aria and Saria told their parents everything. To their surprise, their parents believed them.
We believe you, Aria and Saria. We need to check this out.
Armed with a flashlight and a baseball bat, their father led the way down to the basement, determined to confront whatever was tormenting his daughters.
Stay close, everyone. We need to stick together.
The air grew colder as they descended. The smell of damp earth and mildew filled their nostrils. The beam of the flashlight danced across the walls, casting eerie shadows that seemed to writhe and twist like living things. And then they saw it. Standing at the far end of the basement, bathed in the pale moonlight filtering through a crack in the wall, was the figure. The black and red mask seemed to mock them, its painted grin promising unspeakable horrors. But this time it held something else, a long black knife, its blade glinting menacingly in the dim light.
Run!
Screamed the father, his voice raw with terror, but it was too late. The figure moved with impossible speed, its laughter echoing through the basement, a chilling sound that promised a night of unimaginable terror. The family turned to run, but the door slammed shut, plunging them into darkness.